that time.
Raptors here are 0-3 and 3 turnovers here to begin this second half, Jack.
When you play Miami, you got to be really good offensively because they are. I don't care what you do defensively, they're going to get their 100, and their stars are going to be stars. You got to keep up with them. And in order to do that, your efficiency level, your shot selection, every trip's got to count. You can't be sloppy and goofy offensively.
You got to get critical stops and then critical shots got to be made.
There you go.
And Bosh.
Take it like a man there. Play the city game. Take it to the 10.
52-51.
There you go. This ain't no suburban play right here. This is going to the 10. It's like the schoolyard, Matty D.
You always loved recruiting in the city, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Raptors Mobile, powered by Rogers, has officially launched. Get live game alerts, the latest videos from the team, stats, and more. Search Raptors in your app store today or visit raptors.com/mobile. And yes, it is free. And it's real interesting when you look historically at point guards from cities. A lot of them, they always had that great drive, the ability to get off with the dribble, get to the rim, and sometimes their shot wasn't there, and it was something that they had to work on. And a lot of the times you're out in the schoolyard playing, right?
That's right.
And you're outside, the wind is whipping and all swirling around, so you got to take it to the rim. Wade goes on the inside.
I mean, I feel a momentum swing here, and Toronto's got to do something about it. Because you just can't trade baskets with these guys and play cute.
9-4 in favor of Miami here in the third. Anderson, man, that's a tough pass. Fourth turnover.
I get a timeout here.
Fouls on Lowry.
There's a turnover right here. There's D. Wade going to the basket.
All right, let's see here. Nothing, didn't touch him. Didn't touch him. Lowry has 4 personal fouls.
Here's a decision now to you. You go with John Lucas in crunch time here, because what do you do what Eric Spoelstra did by playing Wade in the first half with 3 fouls? You trust Lowry to be effective with 4 fouls.
Tied at 54.
And he's got to take a timeout here because they're not playing well, just like we saw them. And you got to get into them. They're not doing smart things offensively, and they're giving it right back to Miami right now.
54-54, timeout here in Toronto. Raptors in the third. DeRozan cut off, spins, in trouble, double. Now sends it back up top. Here's Lucas. And a 3-second violation and another turnover by Toronto
This
here.
is getting away from them. I tell you what, I know Amir Johnson has 4 fouls. I know Kyle Lowry has 4 fouls. But you might lose the game in the next 3 minutes. You can't take the fouls with you. It's something that Jermaine Casey's going to have to consider sooner rather than later, and probably sooner than he wants to.
Here's Wade, sends it to Chalmers. Battier, pass to Bosh, swings it now to James. And Bosh with a slam dunk. 5 turnovers here in the third. And the Raptors down by 4.
We're in trouble. You look at this lineup, you got to get the ball in Gay's hands and run it through him.
James on him. Gray sets a screen. Look at the double extended out.
Well, they're not going Gray.
And Anderson on the bounce, dumps it off, and another turnover. Lead pass, James, as he's able to track it down, he can. Ends up on the Raptor bench. And now they're going to call a foul. And a foul on John Lucas.
I think you got to get Amir Johnson back in the game. Because you saw that play from Rudy Gay, the high screen, and they never brought it Gray.
Well, he touched him with the left hand.
That last screen and roll for Rudy Gay at the left side, man. When he came off, Bosch was just waiting there for him, and they doubled him up. And they're like not guarding Aaron Gray. And again, I'm not picking on Aaron Gray. He's playing his tail off for you. But Miami's just so tough and so quick. You gotta have legitimate scorers on the floor against this team. That's a great pass that time, going down the gut of the defense to Chris Bosh. I say it again. You gotta keep up with these guys offensively. You gotta have your best guys out there. And if you can't, if you're turning it over and they're able to load up on your stars, you're in trouble.
Raptors, their last field goal came at the 2:41 mark of the second quarter. It's been 8.5 minutes, and the Raptors down now by 5, 59-54. Under 6 minutes to go here in the third. They can't get it to Gay with James draped all over him, and the shot doesn't go, but tapped in by Aaron Gray.
I'll tell you what, Miami, they'll give Gray his points, but they are loading up on DeRozan and Rudy Gay and making them take tough shots.
9 minutes in between field goals, Jack.
Matt, impressive D from Miami.
Well, they understand what it's about. They know when to turn it up as Wade makes the bucket. 61-56.
Isn't it amazing? Really good teams understand that next gear.
Anderson set the screen, peels off of it. Lucas, here's DeRozan. DeRozan now to Lucas. Lucas on the drive, puts up the shot, wraps around and through. 3-point game.
Game warning. It's a nice pass on a baseline by Anderson, and then Lucas making a difficult shot. But nothing easy here. You know, like you get a basket, but you're like just relieved that you got it. How much longer do you go without Amir Johnson and Kyle Lowry?
Here's Wade in the lane. Push shot. Good. Boston won today for the 4th consecutive time since losing Rajon Rondo. They beat the Clippers by 2, 106-104. So much for their demise.
Is that 4 in a row, right?
Yes, 4 in a row. Rudy Gay drives, and he gets fouled by LeBron James.
Well, he can get his own shot, and he's a guy that you can just clear it out and let him go.
So Rudy Gay to the free throw line, looking for his first second-half points. In a 5-point game. Today's Eye in the Sky brought to you by Air Canada. The Raptors will see Boston on Wednesday.
Chapman at halftime with former Miami Heat assistant Tony Fiorentino does their TV color. And he said, you guys finally got a go-to guy.
I think that is the sentiment around the NBA when you talk to coaches, and then you also, as Rudy Gay gets both, who has 22, and also players. I talked to his former teammates, Shane Battier and Mike Miller, and they said, got big-time player in Rudy Gay. And for the Toronto Raptors, that talent level just goes up. Here's Battier. 3 doesn't go. Anderson. And Lucas pushing it at the request of Casey. Rudy Gay has Anderson flying at him, takes it into the lane. Silky smooth. In 2013 Waste Management Phoenix Open concludes today with a final round over on TSN2 coverage. It's already got underway. We're on TSN2. Bill Mickelson still the leader. The MGD smooth play.
Well, LeBron James is smooth. And what a great pass that was. He's got 7 assists. And watch it right here, bang, right down the gun of the defense. And Chris Bosh has been sensational this afternoon. 25 points, and that guy, yeah, he's only got 23. But he's got 6 boards, 7 assists, and he just makes the play. Whatever that play needs to be, he makes it. How about this, Matt? Raptors have only scored 33 points here in the second half. They had a big first half, 50 points. When you're playing a really good team, and they make you play 5-on-5, they're into you. You better be really tough offensively.
James with the steal. James in the breakaway and a sledgehammer.
Case in point right there. Can't be sloppy, can't throw long passes.
And then head home after.
Really?
Yeah. Rudy Gay with a thunderous slam. Right through traffic. He's got 29, and it's a season best for him. Making their coach happy if the Heat can come away with a win. A lot more enjoyable to stay to watch a game. On the inside and a foul. LeBron James. Remember him saying that, a couple days ago about
he was upset.
Yeah, he was upset. They're going to have to be in a plane. They couldn't watch the Super Bowl. Big football fan. Grew up a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Look at that catch.
Brown fan.
Bosh with the finish.
This is sweet.
It's a tight corner. Look at it. That's a big-time flush. You gotta have some elevation. You gotta have some major hops. How about the Raptors here today? They've been outscored 29-12 here in the second half in the paint. And Anderson, Ross, and Lucas, they're three primary guys off the bench. 3 of 17 today. They just have not gotten anything out of their bench today.
And when the Raptors, as you know, when they're good and they make a difference, you got to have Anderson making a couple, Lucas making a couple. And for Toronto, it's just not the case. And this is a Miami team. They've won 9 in a row, and you're heading toward that century mark, and we know what's there. 1 in 22 when you allow 100-plus points. The Raptors hung around despite the turnovers and despite not shooting the basketball well in the second half, Jack.
They sure did, and here it is right here, the foul by Bosh. I know Lowry's a little upset with it, but honestly, I don't think Chris Bosh is doing anything with intent. He's trying to provide assistance on that, make sure that play doesn't develop.
Raptors 17-30, and this is a tough spot. When you look at the stretch of games here, Clippers, Miami, Boston, and then Indiana.
Oh, not easy at all. There's our reset. Heat with 2 timeouts and the Raptors with 1, but their strength of schedule goes the other way, too. You got to play with the big boys, and for a while the Raptors did, but you can see the difference in talent level. And defensively, on the road, defense travels all the time. 85 points, 38%. You force 15 turnovers. You only give up 4 threes. And Miami, impressive with the D.
Rudy Gay, a 3 shot too strong. Miami's 0-2 against New York. They're 0-2 against Indiana. They're 0-1 against Chicago. Do you make anything of that? They're 13-10 against teams above 500. Does that, or do you just think, hey, this is a team, they've won a title, and they know when it's time to get down to business?
I think LeBron James was asked about that, and he didn't like the question. He's like, I don't care about any of that stuff. When you get to springtime, we're in a series, and we got days off in between games, our prep and our attention to detail is going to be off the charts.
Well, he was off the charts tonight with 30 points. And the Raptors, a great effort tonight by Rudy Gay, 29 points in his second game as a Raptor. Aaron Gray had 12 rebounds. Amir Johnson saddled by foul trouble, 7 rebounds tonight. And Lowry in a little bit of foul trouble, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. But second half handed to the Miami Heat as they came up big. Rudy Gay leading the way with 29 points for Toronto, and LeBron James with 30. The Miami Heat improved to 30-14, and Eric Spoelstra is headed to Houston as the head coach of the Eastern Conference All-Star. And Mike Woodson can keep his reservations on his vacation. We'll have more right after these messages as the Miami Heat win it by 15.